Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Meat. My name is Chris,
My name is Vincent.
and let me tell you guys, you must have been some great boys and girls out there because you know what? Christmas came early for you guys. We weren't going to do a Real Meat this week, Easter, everything. We were going to take the week off, just chill. AW wasn't, we weren't going to try to watch that. We weren't going to do a Real Meat. We are going to come back next week. But TKO said, no, the Wrassle Graps fans, you've been so good. There's ever Real Meat. And, that's why we're here. That's why we're calling an emergency meeting, spelled
Emergency meeting.
Meating, of course. And that's why when you're reading this title, it is Real Meat 4.5, not 5.
Right, exactly. This is one of those mini ones, where we talk about some real meat, When we get down to the meat of it, it's an emergency meeting. It just happened yesterday.
And in case you're curious, yes, the title was between emergency meeting and mini meat, but emergency
Mini
meeting
meat.
sounded better.
Mini meat's fire, actually. We need to figure that one out, because that one might need to be something in the future.
That's what we call our YouTube shorts in the future.
Mini meat, that's great. That's good.
You're welcome. But yeah, so let's get down to the point. They finally got revealed
Oh
who
my
was
god.
calling Randy Orton. And by God, was it terrible.
Take some guesses at who it could be.
Want me to guess or them to guess?
Yeah, I'll let them guess for like 1 second, and then we'll just spit it out.
How are you typing the 1 second? You want dead air for a second?
Pat McAfee. Did you say
Oh,
Pat McAfee? You didn't say Oh, okay. Well, we caught you by surprise, just like us, this morning, actually.
so remember last week when I said to you, what if it's just Randy Orton comes out and it turns out the person he was talking to was himself because he has multiple personality disorder? Remember
Yeah,
that?
somehow this is worse than what you said last
That's what
episode.
that's what I was saying. That's what I was gonna say is that somehow it's worse. They went a worse route than what I suggested.
I could not have predicted this. Not one bit.
No sane person could have predicted it, but my point is, suddenly my bad idea is sounding so much better.
It kind of is. I would have thought that was stupid, but at least it wasn't Pat McAfee. I'm not gonna lie.
They said they're gonna reveal who it was on Friday, and so Cody and Randy are in the ring, and all of a sudden Pat McAfee comes out, kicks Cody in the nuts,
The dick,
and
yeah.
cuts a promo about how he's wrestling is it's terrible these days. It's these
Oh
five
god.
five men wrestling 40-minute Iron Man matches. It's
That never
terrible.
happened, by the way. That never ever
No,
happens. And I wish it did. I do wish it did happen.
it hasn't happened in years. I don't know what you're talking about. Watch the
So it's
product,
just
pal.
lying, yeah.
Everyone's pissed, rightfully so. At least 95% of the population. There's like 5% of people out there that are like, you know what, that's kind of cool and interesting. And those people,
More power to
uh,
them, I'm not gonna lie,
know that you're entitled to your opinion, but opinions, no matter what anyone tells you, opinions can be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. It's unnecessary. It didn't need to happen for this feud specifically with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Because I mean, honestly, they had all the history in the world to make a good feud happen, especially for the main event of WrestleMania. And shoving Pat McAfee in there like it's gonna do anything, like even bringing new fans, sell tickets, it's gonna do nothing for you and this feud to make it any hotter than it already is.
Let me clarify. I wasn't on board with this idea when they were like, oh, who's Randy Orton working with? Randy Orton is like a 20-something year veteran at this point. He doesn't need to work with anybody. That's
That's
not
also
necessary.
true. He doesn't need any guidance from one person.
So I
Besides his
already,
voices, of course.
right, when, I wasn't on board with this to begin with. So I wasn't, I was really skeptical of this. And this just confirms to me that they shouldn't have done it. I
It
know,
just seems thrown together. I mean, honestly.
well, we know that very much was thrown together. Because turns out Big Papa Ari Emanuel over in TKO
Oh my
said,
god.
hey, get that dude Pat McAfee in there. I'm calling an executive decision. I don't care what creative you had, get Pat McAfee in there.
Yeah, I don't know who broke that news. Just pick a name. Body Slam, Fightful, Dave Meltzer. Someone broke that news. very high up there in the sources. However, yeah, of course, Ari Emanuel was the guy that called this. I mean, apparently, he's been making these decisions. We're bringing celebrities in. He's like, oh, it'll help the business. And of course, he wants to turn Pat McAfee to the next Sylvester Stallone. That's his goal.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me say this. This finding this out was both upsetting, but also it gave me some hope.
Okay.
Uh,
Why? Why did it give you hope?
because it proved to me that you don't need to be smart to be super rich. You can be an absolute fucking moron and you can still get a shit ton of money. And that's very inspiring for me to know that.
Yeah. Because he doesn't watch the product at all, but he thought shoving Pat McAfee right there with Randy Orton, that's the move. And Triple H said, you know what? I ain't got nothing better to put there, so you're right.
What sort of brain dead fucking moron do you have to be to look at the sales on your tickets that are like, what, 5 figures? And say to yourself, man, why aren't they selling? I know. Pat McAfee's not here. That's why. Get him
I
in
mean, right
there.
now,
Where are we?
there's an over reliance on these celebrities. I mean, we've seen Jelly Roll, we've seen Lil Yachty last night, Pat McAfee. I mean, you name it. Every so Speed's been around as well. All these celebrities mainstream. That's what they want, the mainstream appeal. And it's not doing anything for any fan out there, as far as I'm concerned.
So I don't love the celebrity involvement. I let it go because, I show speed in the whatever the Vision's doing at Wrestlemania and Lil Yachty with Trick Williams. That's pretty inoffensive considering that those are like mid card matches, whatever is what it is. But to throw Pat McAfee in the main event feud for SmackDown, like, why would you do
Yeah.
that?
I mean, I didn't mind the Lil Yachty appearance
No, that's what I'm
last
saying.
night.
It's Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, and people are already turning against that because it's Sami Zayn as U.S. champion. So, Lil Yachty wants to be there, whatever, fine. At this point, just let him be there.
He was okay. He was okay.
He's not the problem with that feud, like at all.
Speed might have a bigger role at WrestleMania. I could see that happening.
I think it's a 6-man, isn't it?
Is it really?
I thought the plan was Usos and LA Knight versus Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISHO Speed.
I don't know where you heard that, but I didn't hear that. So
I mean, if what you think is a one-on-one with LA Knight and ISHO Speed?
I think it's possible it could be a one-on-one. Yeah.
No, ISHO Speed is not believable in any one-on-one capacity.
Okay, 100% is, man. And you see
No,
him
he
leap
is
over
not.
the cars and shit, man. He leaps over those cars with ease, okay? He's always jumping over stuff. He's running. You see his running skills?
Bro was thrown into his camera by LA Knight, and he showed up the next day in a fucking neck brace. You want me to believe he's a one-on-one wrestler?
Yeah. If you believe Darby Allin's a one-on-one wrestler,
Darby Allin doesn't show up in a neck brace after taking a slight bump.
he probably should. I'm not gonna lie. That'll make him
Doesn't
more
need it.
believable.
And ISHO Speed wants to coffin drop onto the side of the ring,
He
or
would
like
do that,
coffin
though.
drop off a ladder
He'd do
and
that.
not wear a
Okay.
neck brace after. Maybe we could talk about it.
He probably would do that, though. He's crazy. You see that guy?
Hey, when he does it, listen, when he does it, we can have this conversation then.
I don't
Until
even
then,
mind Pat McAfee, by the way, as a wrestler. I don't mind him as a wrestler.
I I didn't mind him when he was just, doing mid card nonsense. Like when he had his little match with Austin Theory, then he was on commentary,
The Gunther
whatever.
one was questionable.
The Gunther one's really when you see it and you're like, I don't like this because Gunther is way too big to be doing this.
Right. Right.
And yeah, they had Gunther win. That's the right move. But that should really be as far as you go with even testing the waters on that.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't fucks with that whole feud just from the start.
No, the whole feud was Gunther jump Michael Cole. And honestly, who hasn't wanted to from time to time?
Yeah. I mean, I think the whole thing with this Randy Orton thing, it just felt unnecessary. I think the key word here is unnecessary to describe this.
Just it's such a terrible idea for so many reasons. I don't understand the train of logic that they went down to get here.
I mean,
I don't
you know what the train logic was, man.
yeah, but like it's not
Ari Emanuel, he said, "Hey, we need something. This ain't really hitting, and also I want Pat McAfee to be the next star of acting. I guess I'm not sure what he wants him to be, but yeah, Triple H was like, sure, I guess we can do that, and
I
they
don't
made this
think
whole storyline with the fucking phone call, trying to get some hype behind it. And the problem with WWE is they always hype up these mid ass things, and
no, no, no,
this
hold
is
on.
one of those moments right there.
Hold on. I give Triple H a lot of nonsense. This time, I've been looking into this. He is not to blame in any way for this.
And also, by the way, that fucking promo he cut about the whole WWE being shit thing, that was unscripted apparently, according to BodySlam.net.
Let's get one thing crystal clear here. When Ari Emanuel said Pat McAfee is going to be in this feud, it wasn't a suggestion, it was an edict that Triple H had to follow. He didn't get a say in this at all. He just
I
said,
still feel like you could have done it way better.
No, there's no good way to do this, to be clear.
I mean, you probably shouldn't do it to begin with, but I feel like doing it this way, it's like, why? This doesn't make any sense.
There is no, if you're doing Cody versus Randy, there is no path to inject Pat McAfee into that feud because he fits nowhere.
I think the thought process behind this, by the way, is that Cody's not getting cheered right now, right? He's mostly getting booed. Now, how do we get Randy booed when he's getting cheered this much? You throw Pat McAfee in there, have him heel on everybody. No one really likes Pat McAfee all that much anymore. This is gonna work.
Yeah, but now the whole thing is just they don't like Cody, they don't like Pat, and they still like Randy.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah,
So
I
this
can
match
see now.
going back
Okay,
here,
also Pat McAfee brought up in a video online on social media. He said if Randy does not win, then he will never be in WWE again.
it doesn't matter. Damage is already done.
Okay.
You just with this one move by sending Pat McAfee out and saying he's a mystery caller, you have killed any hype for this match at all.
Yeah, you never needed it because I mean that first segment got me hyped immediately. The stair spot with Cody, that was cool. And then up, okay, from that point on, it was a downhill storyline.
No, the story is so simple, and they were doing it right in the beginning. Like you said, tries to kill Cody, and then he goes, "Listen, he has those little ticks during the contract signing where he says, "You weren't supposed to be champion right now. It was supposed to be Drew. This was supposed to be easy for me." He's talking about how desperate he is to win number 15. It's easy to do that. He's an
Yeah,
aging veteran. He knows he doesn't have much time left to win another title. He turns back to the voices that have always helped him be successful. It makes sense. It works. And then you have the backstory with Cody and Randy you could dig into for the rest of the feud. That's all you need to do.
yeah.
It's simple.
Just thinking of people that would have made sense, man. I've seen some people say Jelly Roll would have made sense.
No.
It's true though. He would have made more sense than Pat McAfee.
Okay, he would have made more sense, but that doesn't mean that he should have been him. Again, the mystery caller thing shouldn't have even happened.
That storyline, like I said, they always hype up these things, and it's always fucking made. I mean, I appreciate the hype up. Oh, it's intrigue. But then when you get to the end, the finish line, there's always fucking trip and fall. You know,
Again, I cannot blame
just
creative
don't
for
hype
this.
it up. No, no, yeah, don't hype it up this much. You feel me? Don't hype it up this much. That's what you do. They hype it up too much. It's what happened. Everyone got fucking deflated like a balloon. It's like the fucking
Everyone's
Danhausen shit. Danhausen
everyone's
shit. They
getting
hyped it up so much. His backs, and then everyone got to that point. They were like, "Oh, it's not Chris Jericho. Oh no."
listen, you know, the WWE creative were given it's like being so when you step on a landmine, like in a movie, and the character they have to get off, but as soon as they get off, it's gonna blow up. They were put in that situation, and there's really no easy way out. There's no good way out, and they did their best with this. And again, there's no way it went well. That's just all
Yeah,
there is to it. They
Definitely
were
not.
gi- they were
These
put
are
in a
just gonna
shitty
be
situation.
these are just be new fans for AEW to have because I can tell you this stuff is driving people away from WWE very
I think
quickly. You know,
you read about this and you see that it was Ari Emanuel edict. People in creative, they're not happy about it. They're not happy that Ari every year digs into the main event of WrestleMania and says, "Oh, put fucking Travis Scott here. Put The Rock in there. Put in put in Pat McAfee." They're
what the
getting
fuck was
pissed.
what was Pat McAfee thinking, saying that in his unscripted promo, saying the whole entire product is shit and he doesn't want to watch it and no one else does either.
Well, that's just true. He was being honest.
Just being honest, but like you just don't be saying that. I'm just saying.
Hey, if that's what he said, look, Ari deserves that, okay? He
I'm just
deserves.
picturing the people in the back and on Unreal on Netflix, and they're gonna be so pissed about that.
No, they won't because Ari won't let him. He's
They
gonna
won't.
edit that
You'll
out.
say on Unreal, you can't be mad about can't be mad about this.
You have to. They're gonna talk about it and be like, well, it certainly wasn't our idea, but we did what we could with it. They're gonna be very political about it. They're gonna be very polite about it.
You think they're gonna be very professional? We'll see when it comes out. I feel like they're gonna be like, "God damn it, fuck!" They're gonna say like curse words,
You think they're
when they
gonna?
start
You think
saying this
TKO
stuff.
is gonna let them put out a show on Netflix where they go out there and publicly bash Ari Emanuel?
Yeah, but no, they wouldn't mention him by name, so it really doesn't fall on it.
Yeah, but everyone knows.
Everyone knows about it. That's part of the beauty of it.
Everyone knows. So when you're in Unreal and Triple H is throwing a fucking fit because, oh, well, the guys were higher up, they're making me do this stupid ass storyline. I mean,
Okay.
come
You
on.
know what? You know what's gonna be on Unreal, and you know what was a shitty creative decision? Not allowing Carmelo Hayes to be in that triple threat WrestleMania.
Oh, I thought we were still on the Cody because we didn't finish that one.
Well, if you want to finish, you're good. We can move. I mean, that's just something I want to get to.
We can get to it. We can talk about it. Let's finish this off because to
Yeah.
damage control the whole situation later on, they have Cody go on Twitter and say, "Hey, actually, let me read the tweet. Let me pull up this tweet real quick."
I didn't know he said anything on Twitter.
He did.
I only
Cody
saw the
went.
promo that he did afterwards.
Cody went on Twitter and he says,
It's
"I
like the real
apologize."
name of NWO being in Disco Inferno instead of Hulk Hogan.
Hold on. He goes on Twitter after and he goes, "I apologize for that. I'd like to respond before the show is over." And he goes out and he cuts an unscripted promo where he basically goes out there and says, "Man, that reveal sure was stupid, huh, guys? It's like if the third man of the NWO was Disco Inferno. Am I right?"
Like fucking yeah, I guess so. This is what I'm saying. This might actually make people cheer for Cody Rhodes. It might.
No, they still booed him. They don't.
Yeah, I heard some cheers in there, man. I heard it was like more split down the middle than it was before.
Yeah, but they still, again, that's the point. They're still booing him.
Yeah, of course he's not. He's still corny. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like people's hate for Pat McAfee and annoyance of him, like he said he was a muscular or less muscular Logan Paul. You know, that
They
might
sent,
that might work favors for Cody.
man, it's just impressive watching every year. They find some way, every year since WrestleMania 40 started the past 2 years, watching them find a way to kill any momentum they have going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't get how they can have such a bad build. I mean, this build was probably one of the worst I've ever seen. That's saying something, dude.
And then, like you said, take making the match at WrestleMania Sammy and Trick and not Trick and Carmelo Hayes, even though
I mean,
that makes
Trick
more
Carmelo
sense.
Hayes, and also Trick Carmelo Hayes Sammy could have worked. I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea.
No, I'm perfectly fine with that too. I would have rather that.
Like, just so you had an out right last week. He lost, but that was because of Trick Williams' involvement, right?
Mhm.
And then this week he comes out. He says, I want to be, I want to be added to this. Right? I want to go to WrestleMania. And the Sami Zayn is like, okay. Well, actually, he was very reluctant to give him a title shot, and also, but then he eventually did give him a title shot. And then later on in the night, they had a title match, and Carmelo Hayes lost clean.
Yeah, so that's wrong. You shouldn't have done.
Yeah, I
I,
mean that's just a bad creative decision. I mean I don't know why they did that to the man, especially when he had all that hype behind. I heard the promo, and people were chanting, we want Hayes or whatever. I don't know what they were chanting, but they were on his side.
It shows you how terrible the higher ups right now in WWE are. Just the fact that you
That's
have
why we want Mello, but since what they were chanting.
sure, but it shows you how terrible it is. Not just yeah, Ari Emanuel, we gave him shit. Yes, he deserves it. Just he's an absolute moron. But it shows you that WWE creative, obviously you all know this, isn't perfect either. They do stupid nonsense like this. They found a way to make Sami Zayn the most hated man on the planet. I don't know how you did that, but they did.
Oh yeah, there was fucking. Okay, I watched the match too. When the people were chanting "Sammy sucks,"
I don't. How do you even do that? How do you do that?
one of the most beloved baby faces in NXT history, underdogs, ruined by the main roster.
Not even Vince pulled that one off. I, God.
Actually, that heel run was kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie.
The point is, but when Vince did it, it was intentional, at least. You know?
I guess so. I don't know, man. He was like watered down Sami Zayn, made him wear some weird shit. I mean, it was just not good.
No, I get it, but at least it was intentional. He's a baby face. He's trying to be a good guy and everyone hates him.
Yeah. Peak Sammy was Bloodline Sammy.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, no,
Uso was.
Peak Sammy was NXT Sammy, but that's different.
It's different. We're not talking about NXT.
So anyway,
He was not feeling Uso anymore. No.
so to vent some frustration here are some people unrelated, but I want to get this out there. Here are some people I would have much rather have seen be the mystery caller instead of Pat McAfee. And you could tell me if you agree or disagree. And you
Yeah,
could drop some options in the comments as well if you want. But here's my list. Triple H himself,
no, I
Rick, Fla-
disagree.
Ric Flair. Again, oh, I would prefer this to Pat McAfee.
No, I mean, can't say that.
Randy Randy Orton himself.
No, I disagree. Disagree.
Okay. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch mascot.
No, I
Would have much
disagree.
rather
Okay.
see. Now you're
Okay.
just lying. You're lying to yourself. You're just lying to
Let's keep
yourself.
going. Let's keep going. Let's see if we have a winner here.
Marco from Stop and Shop, my guy.
Disagree. I'm gonna have to disagree with that one.
You.
No, I disagree. I just wouldn't be.
You wouldn't say yes?
No.
Oh, okay. Seth MacFarlane.
No. No, couldn't be. Couldn't be.
I would have rather they did honestly, just make it Vince at that point. Just make it Vince.
I disagree completely. Put that one in the trash can, flush it down the toilet.
You're very hard to please audience. I didn't know you were gonna be like,
I just have to speak my truth, you feel me?
I would have preferred to have seen Craig on there, and I don't even know what he looks like.
He's a robot. Say hello, Craig. And this is why
You
no
know
one
what?
likes.
You sucked the fun out of this segment. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Craig ruins everything.
you know what? I'm not talking about Craig. I'm talking about you.
What did I do, man? I was just saying the truth.
You're vetoing all my fun. You're shooting it down.
I shut it down.
Yeah, this is what it must be like working at WWE Creative. Hey, can I do this, Mister? No, no, you can't. But you don't even know
We
it
have
yet.
our
No.
plans in place.
Ari Emanuel said no today. Oh,
They came from up above.
God said it. I know it's Easter. No, not that high.
It wasn't our choice. It was from up above.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess before we end this though, let's do it on a positive note. I guess. What's the Kit Wilson update this week?
Kit Wilson update. I really don't know. I only heard bits and pieces. He got a title match, and he lost the title match because he got cursed by Danhausen. But you see, Danhausen also cursed the referee in his title match. So the referee had an arm cramp when he was counting to three, and he just couldn't count to three. So they would have been tag champs if it wasn't for Danhausen, of course. Turns out, R-Truth and Damian Priest are the champions still.
I think you mistook. I think it was The Miz and Danhausen in that match.
No, The Miz and fucking Kit Wilson were in the match.
I thought it was Danhausen.
No, the Amazing Kid Wilson and Danhausen was the guy interfering, and he cursed. I know, and he pretended to be part of the match. He got up on the ring apron. He wanted a tag. Miz didn't give him a tag. He got a tag from, I think, R-Truth, from what I remember. And then that's when he did the things.
Wow. Well, that's a fun Kid Wilson update. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. That was from bits and pieces that I heard, of course.
Well, anyway, I don't know.
And
Do
I
you
was
have anything?
correct about all of it, probably. I'm just saying. Pretty impressive.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see it entirely. That's why I asked you for the Kid Wilson updates.
I did a pretty good job. Not gonna lie.
All right. Well, anything else you wanted to talk about?
No. I would do the theme song for the Kit Wilson update. Kit Wilson update. Updates every day.
Wow. Well, I hope that the listeners out there live every day like you're Ari Emanuel, and that you know that you might be a fucking idiot, but you're a rich idiot, and that's what matters. And that at any point, you know that you can whip out your real meat and assert dominance over any room you walk into.
Consensually. You do it consensually.
No, if you're Ari Emanuel, you just throw it out there and you say, "We're
Well, you
doing
ask
this now."
first. You ask first.
Though
Consensual. No,
You're
you're
Ari
not Ari
Emanuel.
Emanuel. Don't be Ari Emanuel. Don't be him.
Live every day, live every day like that.
Be every day like your Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson. I'm a true real man. Put it into motion. Kit Wilson.
But you know what? Maybe if he was there to tell Ari Emanuel he's being toxic, or if Danhausen was there to curse him, so he couldn't do it, maybe we'd be in a better place. But that didn't happen.
Ari Emanuel House.
So you live every day like you are Ari Emanuel, and know that
House.
you can ruin everyone's plans just by showing up,
And houses.
and that's enough for you. I mean, it makes me feel better knowing that.
Better house.
Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys enjoyed, please remember to
Listener
like.
house.
God, that's so fucking annoying. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening on a podcasting platform, remember to leave a 5-star review. Be greatly appreciated. If you want more Wrassle Graps, check us out on the threads. Unless you are a J. Cole fan, uh, apparently some people here uh, have some gripes with him, but that's different.
It's different.
Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. See you on the next one. Bye.